Ladies and gentlemen, by talking about a digging request process, we have to embed the entire story into today's meta discussion. Here, this might be safety and energy change in Germany. The ongoing discussion about complaining about something, like the long-term discussion describing chaotic situation on a German highway bridge, and the looking for a pragmatic solution by using digital tools is overdue. We need to react on statistic knowledge, which is not acceptable in Germany, knowing about the reasons and knowing about the future demands. Even insurance companies are knowing about this, even they earn money on this kind of business. We know about the reasons, we know about missing maps on site and faulty operations of equipment, and we know that this rate of damage is not acceptable for the future demands of the smart city and the actual energy turnaround. Another scope concerning the need to know about routes of pipelines is the need to increase capacities on high voltage transmission lines for electric power from north to south in Germany, connecting for the energy demand. But there will be electronic magnetic interferences on steel-made underground infrastructure, which has to be identified. Let's start today's agenda with the who and what, and about this talking is in the next 20 minutes. First of all, we have looked for a state-of-the-art definition in times where digitization has to get better acceptance. The definition of digging request in times of this is that the entire process of digging request researches and informs responsible line operators to deliver neat-tailored company information about critical infrastructure for planning and construction needs in short term in a digital format. We have implemented an internet-based portal to allow to describe construction activities to get map information, relevant operators in the specific area. Its name is BIL, standing for Bundesweites Informationssystem zur Leitungsrecherche in Germany, called BIL. The who and what describes this map on the right-hand side, showing 250,000 of digging requests in the last 3 years, delivered by 23,000 users using the BIL-portal. Of course, this issue we have to identify the process first by using existing frame conditions from the building information management sector. The BIM process is defining a complete model, creating business benefits, starting with a model-based construction, a computer-based digital model. It has to be built as planned. It has to be quantity and application rate determination early stage. New business process based on integrated digital worker workflows by using integrated terrain models and achieving a lot of business benefits like the acceleration of uninterruptible project by budget safety and the date setting and cost estimation. And the entire process is a continuous process in 6 steps, starting with the need assessments in the first stage, going ahead with the approval phase, going further to the contracting and implementation phase, finally with the commissioning and utilization phase. All these steps have to be guided by the BIL process for the research, request, and information delivery. The BIM process is a useful European standard, including adequate information needed to the entire process from the very beginning. And it delivers a few information which are part of the inquiry process. First of all, there's a research of all the involved parties. There's a classification about that, what's happening on site, what the constructor is planning to do. And this part of this is a location issue about where the activity will take place. Finally, a timeline and the start of activity is needed to create the right information to the operator. A standard process has to deliver appropriate information the enquirer has to send over to the operator, and it has to be common sense to avoid additional communication. Part of these standard parameters is the form of the construction site, the project description, the geocoding, the classification, the timeline, and the need of special equipment. Based on complete information, operator is able to give adequate information. On one hand, he is obliged to do so. On the other hand side, he is interested to guide the on-site activities by own staff and information. As we see, we may easily adapt the digging request process to the building information modeling process. The BIM process is completely described with its process steps and functional requirements. And the digging request process is delivering the research of operators, the responsibility check, the map information, and the process documentation about all process steps and delivered information in the digital archive. Let's talk about the specific demands on site here in Germany. We have by history lots of companies in this energy and communication industry, which is either private owned or in public hand in a federal state of 16 countries. We have 40 pipeliners, 800 multi-utilities, 11,400 public boards and 150 cable companies. Of course, this is the highest infrastructure in the world, and there is no legal BIM process, no digital enquiry process in place yet. Operators with the highest criticality of underground infrastructure agree therefore on the need to simplify the digging request with own business benefits and have financed the initial approach, which includes a company structure of a cooperative, which is now in place for 48 months. It's a company without any profit interest. It's including a responsibility check to eliminate non-relevant inquiries, to accelerate the answering process, and in the meantime it becomes the strongest enquiry portal in Germany and creates support by the associations. Of course, this company has identified additional benefits on span field analysis and cable connections. The bundling of the even named knowledge of all operators identified further analysis, which is comparable to the digging request. The span field analysis is only a special reporting on crossing of parallel running pipelines next to the span field. We have 45,000 miles of electric transmission routes in Germany, so that the single request on each span field is not reasonable to get the information about the crossing pipeline within this span field. And it delivers finally a list for each span field with named operators to set up additional analysis. The fiber optic cables are sensitive transmission lines as well and need to be protected during construction works. Anyway, an additional business benefit had been identified by allowing an interest of internet connection to identify a local operator to become connected to its infrastructure. In this case, this is nothing more than a digital polygon overlay or digital interest of a given information as shown in the graphic. Three examples I've shown to you, which create additional and individual business benefits to the involved parties. This approach is successful. Why? The BIL cooperative creates and operates a joint internet portal to allow inquiries about the line information of research of all responsible operators to send a digging request. All pipeliners in Germany joined this cooperative so that the use and the acceptance of this portal hopefully follows the obligation of execution care of the building industry and becomes honored by the FATS Institute on Cooperatives in Germany. The solution includes technical proposal based on centralization, automatization, digitization connected to the Industry 4 initiatives. It simplifies the research, it optimizes the process of each company's workflow, and it coordinates multiple parties in an easy way so that the invests are small by reducing transactions for everybody. The solution is also based on cooperation with market partners to achieve completeness of process steps, including public planning via BIL-portal for your municipalities, following the process of approving by building law. With Arlitz company, completeness of all operators not known in the cooperative may be identified but not included in the inquiry process. Partnership and technical cooperation creates completeness and high acceptance. Finally, the organization has to be liable and non-commercial to achieve acceptance and support business associations. A registered corporate creates best fit to economic issues and is going ahead without official legislation following liberal market rules. The registered cooperative is a model creating best fit to economic use of a country. My lookout on these German experiences is giving you 4 topics. First, the operator safety demands required information about on-site infrastructure for everybody. The BIM process needs completeness to support digital digging requests process. The German economy needs a central application formed as industrial standard. And finally, the BIL-portal might become an enabler for the BIM process, supporting the energy turnaround as well. A successful branding will create emotions and identifications. We have to take care of this. We know about successful examples like Amazon, Facebook, and Google. Each of them started with a complete different motivation, becoming successful. This might be a model for BIL, knowing about the what, where, and when, and starting a branding on safety communication and digital business. Thank you for listening, and when you like it, please come up with further questions and send me a mail to the email address listed on the right edge. Thank you. Bye-bye.